Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Bridget and welcome to another powerful class in health and social care. My name is Bridget Ezobiako and this is Bridging Healthcare. It's such an honor to always come back to you to teach you one or two things to make you an effective and a very efficient healthcare professional. By way of introduction, I am a healthcare professional and I have worked in the field. I have worked as a nurse. I have worked as in care, and I have got hands-on experience, and I've also worked in supervisory capacity and training as well. So I love what I do and I do what I love. And I always tell you that the healthcare space is beautiful, is big, is massive. There is room for everybody because you know what? The more healthcare professionals who are passionate that come into the healthcare space, the better the world is generally. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, no worries. Please subscribe right now. Click on the bell, click the subscribe button so that every time I come online, you will be the first to know. Now, early this year, I did have a conversation with you all to say, I want to support a lot of people that are coming into the healthcare space, that are taking their courses, whatever your healthcare program that you are on to, there is basics standard that is expected in the healthcare space. So I pick the topics in bits and then I explain it over a short class, and I hope it's helpful. I will advise you, please do your homework, do your assignment by yourself, because it helps you to know. You see, in health and social care, there are no hard and fast. You are working with individuals, with their lives, with people's health, so you cannot afford to shadow box. You cannot afford to say, I'm going to cut corners here. Let somebody do my assignment for me. Let me just finish the program and get a job. When you get the job, then it becomes a problem for you. And I do not have those kind of students in my class, right? Right. Okay, let's dig into today. Today, if you have not seen my previous videos, please go back and watch. I even have a talk on interview, and I'm still going to do something more detailed, on how to ace it in your interview, how to be confident, how to speak, how to speak the language that your interviewer wants to hear. I had to use speak because it sounded okay. Quickly, today I want to talk about reporting. If you've seen my previous videos, you will find out that reporting is a big deal in health and social care. What we do, we have to keep proper records. Record keeping helps. Number one, it covers your back. It protects your service user. It also helps the healthcare professional, the holistic team that is taking care of your service user. For instance, somebody has is living with maybe cancer, has arthritis, and maybe COPD, and you are the person caring for this person. You will find out that the doctors might need to read your visit notes to be able to tell what is happening in their day-to-day life, because the doctor is not with the service user every day. So you see why your visit note is king, and you need to detail it appropriately. And I will tell you the do nots. You see, this video is important for you to watch, even if you're already working. It's a refresher for you because sometimes we just forget. So I hope that this is a good reminder. And for those of us that are still doing our program, are considering, this is a good way, is a good system, is a standard of practice that you must imbibe and you must use. Okay? So what is your visit note? When you go to see your service user, either you work in a care home, in a hospital, as a nurse, as a doctor, or whatever, you are an occupational therapist, you are a care worker, you are a support worker. When you go and spend your time supporting your service user, you then will need to report how you met your service user, what you did according to your care plan, okay, and how your service user responded to what you did, and probably how you left your service user. And if there's anything they told you that is worth mentioning, maybe someone said, oh, I had a fall yesterday, this is something you need to report. You know why? For instance, you went to visit Mr. Dan, and Mr. Dan said, oh, yesterday, Bridget, I was sitting on my recliner and I fell. So if you are a nurse, for instance, or an occupational therapist, and you notice that this person has told you this thing, what you need to do is or you're a carer, whatever it is, document it, document what you heard, and then check, are you okay? Would you like me to ring the GP? Would you like me to call the paramedic? Just offer that support, see that they are okay. Then the next thing is you report accordingly. So what happens after you have done your own bit is help is given. Some people have a fall, nothing happens, and after 2 days they say there was a bleed in the brain and they died. You see? And then it's on you because you didn't do what was needed. Because if you did not report that this person said they had a fall, how would they be able to trace the bleed in the brain? So reporting is key, and it is vital for the delivery of a safe and effective healthcare. It has to be full, it has to be clear, it has to be accurate. I'll say it again. Your record keeping, your report, your visit note has to be full. It has to have details of everything that happened, or what the person said, or what you did. And then it has to be clear. So make sure that your writing is legible. If you are typing, make sure that your spellings are correct. You see that we must also be very good in writing as healthcare professionals. Everything you do counts. And then make sure that it is legible enough, and make sure it is accurate. That means don't aggravate things, don't exaggerate. Just write exactly what you saw, and that helps you. And then make sure that the document is secure, because it is the person's personal document. Remember, GDPR. If you don't know what GDPR is, go to my previous videos, but it's very important, and I'm thinking I'm going to do another more elaborate video. It's important that if you don't do your visit note accordingly, it can be a safeguarding. So, number one, what are the advantages of a proper record keeping? One, it safeguards the continuity of care. That means that by providing information to your colleague, if you worked this shift and the next person is taking over, the person can, even in the hospital, the nurses that take over in the evening, or the doctor that take over, will read through the visit notes of all the people that were seen during the day. If there's somebody, so it helps the continuity of treatment. So if you have given paracetamol at 6 p.m. and you reported it that you gave at 6 p.m., if the person is complaining of headache again at 8 p.m., we know that the person that's taken over cannot give paracetamol until every 4 hours, or as prescribed by the general practice. So it's always important for you to record medication. Record medication. Did you see them use it? Did they use it did they swallow it, or they said they will take it later? Okay. Next thing is that it ensures that the patient or the service user is receiving appropriate treatment in their best interest. So they've got a care plan, and when you do your visit note, and when one is looking at it, one can tell, okay, this is what this person requested for, and this is what they are getting. So it gives everyone like that level ground. Everyone has that information that your visit note reflects the care plan. Also, it's the service users document. So when they also need to know, they can read it and they can say, oh, or their family members or their next of kin. If something happened to someone, for instance, and the person passes away, and they are trying to trace what led to that event, they can actually run into the visit notes, and then they can see a trend. If maybe for the past 3 days this person has been complaining of a headache and nothing is being done, then you have done your part. The person that is supposed to pick up that slacks and either ring the hospital or ring the doctor. If they don't do that, then you can tell how that person died and what happened. So it is very important, guys. Then it meets legal requirements or responds to freedom of information for the individual. So the person will have access to their, of course, is their document, is their information, and if they want to know what you've been doing for them, they can always run into it. It also evidences decision-making process. So for instance, a decision was made on behalf of an individual because they are not able to make that decision at their own, maybe they were unwell, they couldn't speak or something. It evidences it because you reported. Say for instance, let me give you an instance. You are with John and John could not breathe. John was having difficulty breathing. And then you had to make a decision. Maybe John was choking. Maybe John was eating and he could not, you notice all the signs of choking. What are the signs of choking? You notice that the person is not able to speak, the person is coughing, the person is holding their chest, the person is cringing, the person is not able to respond, and you then decide to make the decision to give like a helmet maneuver, which is what you do to help somebody that is choking. So you first start with tapping the back. If the person, you notice that the back is not working, then you hold your hand round and then you press. I have done that video before, but if you think you still need it, let me know in the comment section and I will teach you first aid for that. I think I need to do a first aid class. All right. So then you report, then the person maybe coughs out whatever it is that, block their airways, and then you put them in a recovery position and the person is now okay. Now you can put that in your notes. When you put that in your notes, number one, it helps the next person coming to know that, okay, maybe Peanut chokes this person, Okay, it helps person to also know if that person notice that the service user is sleepy or is tired. You can be able to trace it that this is what happened and this is what happened. So it evidences the decision you made. So if something then happens, maybe in the process of trying to support, the person passes out, there is an evidence from your visit note that this is what happened. Record keeping is you need to keep your records. You need to make sure that it is detailed and do not copy and paste. I've seen a lot of this. The same, because it's the same person. So you just copy the same thing that happened yesterday to what happened today. It's not possible. It can't just be. You can't say exactly the way I blinked my eyes yesterday is the way I blinked it today. There must be something that is different about today, and just record it. Now, I'm going to talk about, I've talked about the 3 important things when you are doing your visit note writing. Number 1, remember, it must be clear, it must be full, and it must be accurate. Now, what is standard practice? Standard practice is ensuring that your visit note is in accordance with the standard practice of your organization. But there is a general rule that you must at least say how you met the individual. You should also say how you access the place. If it is you visited, if it's a care home, there's no need for that. How you met the individual, were they sitting down, were they sleeping, were they in what position, and then you must be able to tell what you supported them with as per care plan, including charts. Maybe you supported with medication. When people refuse medication, you must be able to evidence in your visit notes why they refuse. Oh, I don't want to take this paracetamol. Oh, John, why don't you want to take it? If they say, oh, I'm not having a headache, I'm feeling fine, then you will report it that this service user refused this medication because they said they are not having a headache and they are feeling fine. It just balances it. It goes in the record. Then, depending on the modus operandi of where you work, but it, as a rule of thumb, do not pad, do not make it, don't add adjectives that are useless, that are not needed. Just write exactly what you saw. So I'm going to take the next 1 minute to give you a visit note. I'm going to, let's assume that the person I went to see, let's assume that it's in a care home. Let's assume that the person I came for the lunch visit, and the person is supposed to have lunch and change their continence support, and the person is also supposed to eat their meal, and I'm supposed to feed them and change their continence support and reposition them in bed and administer medication. If I'm to write that visit note, this is how I'm going to go about it. Because it's a care home, so I don't need to write how I accessed, but I will indicate I knocked on the door, and let's call this person Margaret, and Margaret granted me access by waving me in. We exchanged pleasantries, and she looked quite happy today. She was laying down in bed. I then asked Margaret what she would like for lunch, and Margaret said she wanted a toast with jam and butter. I asked if she would like the toast to be brown or crispy, because in her care plan, it indicates that it should be crispy. And then she wants it crispy. I then took 2 slices of bread and toasted as requested in the care plan. I made her meal and served her. I ensured that the environment was ready for her to eat, and I supported her to sit up in a 90-degree position. Margaret ate her meal joyfully, and she ate it 100%. I served her a cup of tea as she requested. Once done, I cleared the dishes into the sink, and I proceeded to support Margaret with medication as per chart. Margaret took her medication, and I saw that she swallowed it all. She also asked for a cup of water, which I served her to drink for later. Once done, I tidied up everywhere, and I sat down to chat with Margaret, as she did not want her continence support changing because it was dry. Margaret told me that her son visited yesterday and they had a really good time. Therefore, she's in high spirit. She feels very strong and healthy, in her own words. All task was completed, and when I was leaving, Margaret was ready to go back to sleep. I secured her room and left. She waved me goodbye. That is a simple visit note. Now, you will see that I explained the position I saw Margaret when I arrived into the room, and I explained that I sought her private. I promoted her privacy by knocking on the door and respected her space. You can see that I also was able to find out what she's been up to, and I explained how she felt happy in her own words. I served her exactly what she wanted. I told you that she ate the food 100%. You can see I cleared the areas, and you see that she did not want her continence aid changing. So that was not, an activity I did. And then what she mentioned about her being happy, it shows her quality of life is good because her son visited. So, and then when I left, how did I leave her? She was going back to sleep. So if anybody then visits and find Margaret dead, they will not say, they will look at the visit note and they will say, oh, she went back to sleep. She ate. You see, she smiled. So it's always important to make your visit notes detailed enough. Do not be lazy. Do not rush it. Make sure that your language, your English is correct. Type it accurately or write it accurately and legibly. And so that write what you can defend. The truth cannot, you cannot lie. If you say the truth, you will always say the truth. Anyway, this is the class for the day. I hope that it has been impactful for you. My name is Bridget, and this is Bridging Healthcare. And it's such an honor to always come back again and again. If you really need me to support you in any other capacity, I'm happy to. You can reach out to me via my email, okay, ezeobiakobridget@gmail.com. Please reach out to me, and I'm happy to support. Tell me what you think about these classes, and if you want me to teach something different that will also improve your work, because that's what I'm here for. I'm happy to support. Thank you all so much, and please keep coming again and again and again. So until the next one, please tell your friends and tell your friends and tell your friends. Bye.